Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today let's crochet a unique and vibrant scarf with hearts together. If you want to add a statement piece to your wardrobe, grab a yarn, hook and stay until the end of the video. You can do it. At the end of the video, I'll also show you how to sew the hearts so that the seams are invisible on both sides of the scarf. And I'll share a method for creating fringe. Plus, for those who watch until the very end, there is a secret hack to make all your crochet projects even more beautiful and eye-catching. So let's get started, but before that, check if you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss new videos. Let's begin. I'll be using thick pink magenta yarn and it has 115 meters per 100 grams and a 5mm hook is recommended. I'll also use a 5mm hook. And in addition, we will need scissors, a plastic needle with a large eye, a few stitch markers, and a measuring tape. Let's start by chaining 166 stitches. This is about 165 centimeters in length. So, make a slip knot and chain 166. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. And here's our long chain. Now we begin row 1. To do this, we chain 2 for turning. 1, 2. Now it's important for us to flip the chain over like this and find the back bumps. That's where we will crochet the first row. And next we make half double crochets. So yarn over, skip the 2 turning chains and insert the hook into the third back bump from the hook. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. The first half double crochet is done. The next one, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. The second double crochet is done. The third one, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over again and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. And the fourth. And that is we get in the first row. By the way, right, do you get it exactly the same as I do? And we continue our first row to the end with half double crochet stitches. In total, you need to make 166 half double crochet stitches. And we will meet at the end of the row. Don't finish 2 stitches, and I'll show you how to finish them. So I came to the end of the row. I had 2 left loops, and here's the penultimate made and the last one. And you should be very careful not to miss this last loop. So the penultimate and the last one. Now, to ensure everything is correct, I recommend counting your stitches. You should have exactly 166 half double crochets. You can count by checking the tops of the stitches. Here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or by looking at the loops on the side. Choose whichever method is more convenient for you and make sure the count is correct. And now let's move to row 2. To do this, chain 2 and turn your work. And for this row, we will only work into the back loops of the stitches. Only back loops. Here they are. This will create a ribbed texture, making the fabric more elastic and soft. So yarn over, skip the 2 turning chains, insert your hook into the back loop of the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. That's the first half double crochet of the row 2. Now continue the same way, the second, and the third, fourth, and so on, all the way to the end of the row. And by working into the back loops only, we create a beautiful ribbed pattern that makes the fabric more flexible and cozy. So continue to the end of the row, leaving the last 2 stitches. Work the second to last stitch into the back loop as usual. However, for the last stitch, insert your hook under the both loops. Under the both. And this maintain a neater, more structured edge. That's how we will continue for the following rows. Keep repeating these steps until you reach the desired wings. I hope you are following along. If so, give this video a like and leave a comment to let me know if you were able to follow the pattern. Now let's move on to the third row. As usual, we make 2 turning chains and turn our work. continue the same way as in the second row into the third stitch from the hook. So yarn over, insert the hook into the back loop, pull up a loop, yarn over again and pull through all 3 loops. And continue. We keep going like this. By the way, to make this scarf soft and flexible, it's important not to crochet too tightly. Keep your stitches relaxed and even. Stretch the loop slightly to the same height without tightening. This way the scarf will be soft and comfortable to wear. So yarn over, pull up a loop and continue crocheting in this rhythm until the end of the row, always working into the back loop only. And I'll meet you at the end of the row. Now I'm at the end of the third row, finishing the last 2 stitches. The second to last one go into the back loop as usual. And the last one goes through both loops. Yarn over, insert the hook under both loops, pull up a loop and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. This is what our third row looks like. And we will continue working in the same way, always finishing the last stitch through both loops. Then we chain 2, turn our work, and now we crochet into the third stitch from the hook. This will be our 4th row. We keep repeating this pattern row after row, so we should continue until we reach the desired length of 18 rows. And then I'll meet you again to show what to do next. As we continue crocheting, I am running out of yarn. To join a new skein, let's work one more half double crochet so that the yarn tail becomes shorter. This is what we have now. Now we pull out the yarn end and take our new skein. We take the new yarn tail and then insert the hook through the 3 loops where the old yarn exists. Then we take the new yarn, leave a short tail, yarn over and pull it through 3 loops. This is what we get. Now we leave both yarn ends loose and continue crocheting as usual, inserting the hook under 1 loop only. However, instead of pulling through the working yarn alone, we grab both strands, the working yarn and the yarn tail together. We pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Then we hold the yarn tail and slightly pull it through. As a result, we now have two yarn ends positioned next to each other within 2 stitches, and we continue crocheting half double crochets as usual. We will continue this way until the end of the row, then move to the next row and crochet up to this spot again. I will show you how to proceed from here. Now I have reached the same spot in the next row where the yarn ends up, and I will show you how to hide them. We need to crochet over them in this row. So when your yarn and slightly overlaps our previous stitches, we can start weaving it into the fabric. So to do this, we position the yarn end above our stitches and work the half double crochets as usual, inserting the hook under one loop while holding the yarn tail on top of the stitches. And this way we crochet over it, securing it into the fabric. So hold it slightly taut while working. While holding the yarn tail, continue working half double crochets. As we crochet, the yarn ends get hidden within the fabric, make it completely invisible, and continue working half double crochets until reaching the center stitch. And here the yarn end is already fully secured, so we continue working regular half double crochets. Now we have another yarn tail to hide. We follow the same process. In the next stitch we insert the hook under one loop. And we repeat this until the second yarn tail is completely hidden. And if the yarn tail is too long, we do not need to weave in the entire length. Let's secure it within approximately 3 more stitches. I think that should be enough. And now we leave the remaining yarn tail loose and crochet a few more half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And before cutting the yarn, we slightly tighten the fabric to secure the stitches, like this. And then we cut the yarn. After cutting, we stretch the fabric back into the place, completely concealing the yarn end within the stitches. It is now invisible from both the front and the back. And we do the same for the second yarn tail. Gently pull, then cut and stretch the fabric to hide it inside. And now the yarn tails are completely hidden. We continue crocheting the same way until reaching our desired scarf length. So I have completed 18 rows, and let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This is the rings of 18 rows, and this is how the fabric looks. And now let me show you how to finish our work. Before cutting the yarn, we need to make the funnel stitch. So yarn over and pull through the last loop on the hook. Now we cut the yarn, leaving a small tail, not too short but not too long either. Then we pull the yarn end through and tighten the stitch. Now that the last stitch is secured, let's hide the yarn tail properly. I suggest using a large plastic yarn needle. If you don't have one, you can use a crochet hook or a smaller hook. For convenience, I will use a needle. Let's thread the yarn tail through the needle side. And now let's decide where to weave it in. We can either weave it into the stitches here or create a zigzag pattern with the fabric to hide it. Both options work well. Let's try weave it into the stitches. I will adjust the fabric for better visibility. And now, using the needle, I carefully insert it into the fabric, hiding the yarn tail inside. This is quite easy with a needle. Don't tighten it too much, just enough to keep the fabric smooth. You can see how the yarn disappears into the fabric. We continue weaving the yarn chain in the same way for a few more stitches. Now that the yarn is secured, before cutting it, as usual, we slightly stretch the fabric again, then cut the yarn and smooth it out. The yarn tail is now completely hidden inside the seam. And last tip, if you want your scarf to be perfectly even with uniform stitches, keep in mind that the stitches may vary slightly as you crochet. To keep them looking even and professional, I recommend steaming them. You can use a steam generator or an iron with a steam function. I have demonstrated this process in my YouTube Shorts video, which is already available on my channel. Feel free to check it out. After steam blocking, my scarf became softer, more flexible, and the stitches turned out much more even.